So thank you for waiting and thank you for being here. This is the Asian Coaching Supervision Network. We meet once a month, and our goal in this space is to bring different guests to learn together and bring more awareness of coaching supervision to Asia. And today we're very lucky to have Paul with us. And I see some faces that I have not seen in a while. Tina, that's so good to see you. It has been a while. I always keep in my mind when I do my exercises for my back problems. You know, you gave me some good tips that I always remember. So I always remember you. And great to see everyone here. Kevin, I miss you. Kevin just finished his coaching supervision program a few months ago. So great to have you here. So why don't we go around really fast, Paul, so you get to know who is here, so you can say your name and where you're calling from, and if you know anything about supervision, and if you know anything about Lego, and everything is in 30 seconds. Okay, so whatever you want to say in 30 seconds. And Paul, you may go to the end, so I can introduce you and you can share whatever you want to share. So Frederic, why don't we start with you?
Well, I'm quite excited because I just got a message from ESIA saying my 2 recordings have been approved for MCC. So,
congratulations! That is such a great accomplishment. Congratulations, that's great. Wow.
Well, I can congratulate Paul because
he got it 2 weeks ago. Paul got it 2 weeks ago. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you. So do you want to say anything else about you, Frederic? Where are you calling from today in Australia?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was just still dealing with the information I just read. Yes, I'm calling from Canberra, Australia. Looking forward to this meeting. I've not been here for a while because, as you know, I had an accident and surgeries and stuff, but I'm back now on my 2 feet.
Great to have you back. Great to have you back. Tina, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Tina, and I'm in Northeast Washington in the U.S. And I learned about Lego Serious Play from Paul, and had the pleasure of going through one of his training programs last year. So I love Legos. I'm working with them now, and yeah, I'm so grateful to be here. Yeah,
welcome.
Good to see you, Damien. Yeah,
good to see you too.
Thanks.
Kevin, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm sitting in Singapore. I met Paul last year at Converge when he was doing the Lego. My experience with Lego, my 12-year-old has Lego Barbie, Lego Harry Potter, lots of Lego lying around the house.
That's great. Who want to go next? We have guests. I don't know if this is your first or second time you join us. You want to say your name and where you're calling from? And anything you want to say about you?
Hi, I'm Fides. I'm coming from Seoul, South Korea. And I'm very interested about the Lego players. And I have actually planned to learn for Lego Serious Play on this month, August. Yeah.
Great. And do you have any experience in supervision?
Oh, yeah. So
Great.
I'm very excited about today's session.
Great. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Anna Cho, and I've learned the Lego Serious Play last year, and I'm using that for my group coaching and team coaching sessions. And I'm currently participating in supervision class. And this seminar information was shared with my colleague. Her name is Helen. I don't know whether you know her, but anyhow,
Yes.
I'm the first. This is my first to join this Zoom seminar. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to the call.
Okay.
By the way, I'm from South Korea. Sorry.
You too. Great. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue from the South Korea.
Okay.
This is J.W. Kim. I'm based in Seoul. So I'm finished supervision course from the Coaching Institute Management Institute. So I'm heard about a Lego player. So I'm very much interested in how the Lego is applied to supervision today. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Great, welcome. So we have a majority from South Korea today. So that's great because this is our goal. And Helen went through our coaching supervision training a few years ago, one of the first cohorts. So
It's influenced by the LSU.
yes, Alex, you also went through our certification program. So it's great that you're here. And this is exactly our goal, to provide the space for people in Asia. We hope in the future we have more participants from other countries too, because we have several graduates and people that study supervision from China and Singapore. So like Kevin, who's in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. So welcome everyone. Paul, I know Paul for many years. I met him originally when he was being trained as a coach, because a friend of mine who worked for the Ericsson Institute invited me to do a demo, and I couldn't say no to her. I went to do this demo, and there was Paul. And then we met again at ICF Los Angeles chapter. I was doing a presentation on supervision, and he was in that presentation. And then he joined our supervision training a few years ago. Cohort 7, Paul, too? You're cohort 7, famous cohort 7. Oh. This is a historical cohort. We are in cohort 25 now, starting cohort 25 in next month. And that cohort had amazing participants that are very involved, engaged worldwide, doing different things. So Paul, and I also got involved in Lego because of Paul. I went and I got trained myself. I thought that was a good resource. And we're very lucky, Paul, to have you here today. He just got his MCC, and he trains people on Lego programs. So maybe somebody here may be interested in that today. Paul, let's be sure that you have your information for everybody and your next program, so people may be interested, present or recording. We are recording these sessions and we share the recording. So we have in the network 300 people. So many cannot come, but they watch the recordings. So they may not be here, Paul, but they still will listen to the presentation. Okay.
Wonderful.
Well, anything you want to say about you? And if you need to be a few more minutes, and we started 10 minutes late, you manage your time. We're supposed to finish in 40 minutes, but if you need a few more minutes, it's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Well, thank you so much, Damian. I'm honored to be here with all of you. I would understand if people had to leave right at the top of the hour, and I will happily stay on a little bit longer if Damian's okay with that. We do have a demo, and Damian, I was not aware that you knew Tina, so it's really great to have Tina here, as Tina and I engaged in a Lego Serious Play supervision session last week. We will be sharing the recording in just a moment. And then afterwards, hopefully we will have some time for some reflection, a breakout, and maybe some questions. And so I'm honored to be here with all of you. It's great to see some friendly faces. 안녕하세요 to some faces that I do not know, but I'm getting to know better. And Damian, if you can allow me to share my screen, I'm going to share just a couple of slides and then jump right into the video. Okay, great. So what you are seeing here is a mural, and I like to share on Mural. Mural is a digital whiteboard, and so this is the entire presentation. You're not going to see all of it, but I will share the link and the PDF to this to Damian, and he can share it when he puts it in the recording in the link. So welcome everybody to hands-on reflection with Lego Serious Play. I am just going to share, as I said, just a couple of slides, just so you understand, for those of you who have not engaged in Lego Serious Play methods, just a little bit of the difference between what is and what isn't Lego Serious Play methodology. I like to refer to Lego Serious Play as a communication technology. And that's a lot of words and a lot of syllables and quite a mouthful, but let me explain a little bit further. It combines a multimodal way of engaging our thinkers, either our coaching clients or our supervision clients. When we, all of us, are engaging the world in this multimodal way, and what I mean by that is visual, auditory, tactile, kinesthetic, all the different ways we are engaging the world with our full selves. Of course, coaching and supervision conversations that are verbal can be very, very powerful. I just believe that can be even more powerful when we engage other modes of connecting with the world. And so Lego Serious Play is a little different than maybe what you think of just playing with Lego. So if you give me just a moment, I will share. Right in the middle of the spectrum is playing with Lego. So building a car without instructions for pleasure. This is what I did when I was a little kid. This car is definitely not road safe, but I sure had fun building it. That's right in the middle. Nowadays, you will see Lego coming with deep, very serious instruction booklets. And if you follow those instruction booklets, you can build a car that looks like this. Definitely nicer than the one that I built. That is playing with Lego using their instruction booklet. But guess what? That is the opposite of what Lego Serious Play is. In Lego Serious Play, you are the instruction booklet. Your feelings, your thoughts, your emerging sensations, your inclinations, your intuitions, the things that are just showing up for you in your mind, but also in your hand. So you yourself are the instructions. And when you build, you meaning make and think using metaphor and story. And so what have I built here? I've just taken two slanted gray Lego bricks, and I've decided that those two bricks mean movement. I don't know, maybe it's the gray that's the road, the slants of the bricks show some movement to me. So I've decided that those two bricks mean movement, and those are my instructions, and I get to own them. So Lego Serious Play is less about other instructions and more about building stories, metaphors, and we know in supervision, metaphors can be so powerful. Well, when we actually have a tangible metaphor, when we build it, it could be even more powerful. So I'm going to skip over just a few things here to share that in just a moment, I'm going to share a demo that Tina here was so kind to engage with me. And I simply asked Tina to reflect like we do, like we ask our supervision clients to do before every session. But instead of sitting by the window and thinking about her case or her situation, or maybe scribbling down some thoughts on a piece of paper, I asked her to build what was on her mind. And so you'll notice, as you see in this video, you might see some of the seven-eyed model show up in different ways, and I will let you reflect and think about what you see. So I'm just going to share some of the questions that I would love for you to be thinking about. Of course, I will share these at the end before we go and share, but what worked, what didn't work, but specifically, what did you notice about hands-on reflection? Even more so, what was it like to see Tina, the client's artifact, her Lego build, evolve with her reflection? And of course, also, what was it like to see Tina's awareness evolve to what she was seeing and touching and rebuilding? So I'm going to start the video here, and you are all seeing that, hopefully. Wonderful. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need to stop because I did not share sound, and I want to make sure we're good sound here. Moving a little quick. All right, here we go. And away we go. So in just a few moments, I'm going to ask you to turn the camera down and you can use your finger, you can use a pen, whatever you feel comfortable, and go ahead and tap and talk with your finger or a pen, and just allow us to understand what you have created and what you're bringing into this session today.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Can you see that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I'm going to tip this up just a little bit too, in case that helps. So this is about coaching and a habit that I've just noticed recently. So this is a client with the eye on top of his or her head, right? With vision of his or her own. And then two roles that I can play, and I fell into, I think, the role of rescuer. This is sort of like a firefighter, fire person, fireman, firewoman, where, you know, I've got two eyes on this situation. I can see what needs to be done. And I step in sort of as a rescuer and offer suggestions. And in doing that, you know, so I'm like helping the client build a bridge to where they want to go, which is maybe this flag or this propeller. And I just noticed I fell into that. I'll call it a habit because it happens more than once. A couple of times out of maybe 6 coaching conversations in the last 2 days. And I was like, oh, I need to pay attention to this. So, and instead of sort of being a rescuer or like, hey, I'll help do this for you, or I'll make suggestions and help you reach your goal or desired outcome. I really like, it feels icky to do that because I think it takes away agency from the client, right? And so what I'd like to shift to and be more aware of is stepping into this role, which is more of like, I'm a construction foreman maybe, or I'm a fellow construction person with the client. But I'm over here to the side, and I may be able to, you know, turn and help the client maybe see some other things that are there, invite them to look from different perspectives, but I'm not building a bridge for them to get to their desired outcome. And I'm to the side, and I could even be a step behind, but I'm not out in front of the client doing things or building bridges to where the client wants to go. I want to be more of a, I don't know, like a construction aid person, and help the client be able to see things from different points of view. And maybe the client should be on this little turntable at this point, but not step in and do for the client or take any agency away from him or her. Yeah.
I'm curious, as you built this, what were you noticing about yourself?
You know, this rescuer role, you know, is like leaning in, and I'm taking space away from the client. I'm taking away agency. Whereas over here, I could say, well, hey, how, as a construction aid, I could say, how do you want to build this? How do you want to get to that place? You know, what do you need? It's more of, there's a lot more curiosity and partnership in this role of the construction aid versus this role of the rescuer, you know, whether that's firefighter, medic, whatever. And either way, the client may get to their desired outcome or goal. But if I'm in this role of construction aid, it allows the client to take on more responsibility, gives the client more agency. And it's way more fun because I don't know how they're going to get there. So leaves more space. And I think that I see that on the base plate. There's
Yeah.
there's more space, between me as coach and the client, and me and the client's desired outcome, than there is if I play sort of a role of some sort of rescuer.
Yeah.
Yeah. This feels a lot better over here.
Yeah.
And the client has vision of his or her own. I don't need to see it all. I can look from this perspective with the client. So here I'm more side by side. I'm not ahead of the client. I'm not stepping in. I'm not building for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a little curious about colors and shapes, and if there's something there, great, and if there isn't, also great. So I'm noticing that rescuer minifigure Tina the Rescuer is standing on a bigger green block, and minifigure Tina Foreman or fellow constructioner is standing on an orange flat block. Is there anything to that?
Well, yeah. So in the construction aid role, right? Foreman, whatever, I'm actually sitting a little lower. I'm standing a little lower, or even with level with the client. I'm not, and it feels like it's a little bit lower. Like the client's more in the lead, in charge, responsible. And then in the sort of the rescuer role, I'm up at, I feel like I'm higher, partly because this minifigure is a little taller and has a bigger hat on. So it feels like I'm taking on more responsibility than I should, or than I want to. I don't want to take that away from the client. So it's like, I want to catch myself when I'm doing this so that I don't take anything away from the client in terms of his or her agency and ability to build, a way forward towards their desired outcome or goal. And it can be sort of gray, like these little bridges that I put between coach, me as rescuer, right, and the client, and moving towards his or her desired outcome or goal, may not be really visible to the client.
Yeah.
But I'm aware that they're there, even if it's after the fact. Sometimes it's like, I feel like I can't help myself. I want to help the client. But I also realize that, like, assisting the client by doing something for them or telling them, maybe offering suggestions as to how they get there, it's not the way I want to operate as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's coming up for me now, and as somebody who has worked with Lego Serious Play and this methodology, just how coincidental I will use that the bridges that come with the kit that you have just so happen to be the same color as the base plate, as the system.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, as you say, I want to catch myself when I'm doing this, and sometimes I can't help myself. Like the gray bridges, like the gray bridges and the base plates are the same color. The client would never see it.
Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, as I reflect that back to you, how does that land on you?
I think it's for me to be aware of these, sort of the bridges that sort of blend into the background, right? The base plate. And just stop before I start putting one out there. Or if I catch myself, I can, I'm just going to leave with this.
Yeah.
I can pop one off, I can take it back, or I may, if the client's floundering and just like, I have no idea where to start. I might offer some, like, these could be some different ways of, getting to this place that you want to get to. But what, and there are lots of other ways. What might what might work for you, what sounds appealing, what has energy in it for you. But not be directive, I guess. That word resonates right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to consult.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't want to be a consultant, right? I want to stay in the coach role.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as you shared what you shared and noticed what you've noticed and pondered some questions, what is the question that this artifact is asking of you to reflect deeper on in our time today?
I think it's that, like, I have a genuine desire to help people, you know, achieve their desired outcomes or move in the direction they'd like to move in their life. And I want to move this one. Get him off. And I can do that by, actually, I'm going to take that one off too. I can do that. I can still be wanting to help, but not do it for the client. So I can take a stance. I'm just going to move this one more time alongside the client and look from their perspective. But I don't need necessarily my pair of eyes to add to the vision, you know, unless it's offering a reflection or something like that, or a question that might help the client think more deeply about what they want to do or where they want to go. So I can help the client help themselves.
Yeah.
Rather than come in and rescue in some way with a, you know, an awesome suggestion. Yeah.
How do I help but not do it for the client? Yeah.
Yeah.
And how helpful would you like for me to be in this time of your reflection? How if I see a bridge, would you like for me to give it to you, or would you like for me to stay silent?
I feel like you're offering to do it for me in a way. Can you give me a question that might be helpful?
Yeah. Okay. I will. If I'm taking from what you said is that be with you in this moment as you are, and you are giving me permission at some point to give you a brick of support, if you allow me to belabor this brick analogy.
I'll take a brick of support. Yeah, sure.
Okay. But for now, I'm curious, and as a reminder, you know, you can, as you've already done, you can remove, you can add, you can do anything you want. In answering this question, how do I help but not do it for the client? To see what you have created already visually in front of us. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. You mentioned this happened a few times, even recently.
Yeah.
If you were to take a moment and maybe allow one of these Lego eyes to zero in on one specific moment that happened, and take as much time as you need for that. But I'm curious, what was happening in that moment that minifigure rescuer Tina found herself up on that green brick with two eyes instead of how we see it now?
What was happening is there was a senior manager I was having a coaching conversation with, and my sense is that he doesn't know how aware people might be when he's there or not there, when he's visible and involved and engaged, and when he's absent in some way. And I think I wanted to help him see that his presence, you know, in a work situation makes a difference. And I wanted to encourage him to maybe find ways to be more visible, be more engaged. And I was nudging. And I realized that, and I think it was sort of safe to do that. And it felt like I was stepping over the line, like I was being more directive than I want to be or should be as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if I'm hearing you correctly, what I'm seeing right now is that client with their third eye wide open, the bridge to their goal, just right, like all set up. That was not the case.
Not completely.
Yeah.
But I can, in a coaching role, it's not my job necessarily to say, hey, here's another way to see this, right?
Yeah.
Or try these like lenses on for size. I can't get it to move right now.
Yeah, no. Well, so
Yeah.
I am curious if you can,
Mhm.
in that moment, what did the client's journey look like if it didn't look like this? And feel free to reconfigure the goal or just what was happening for the client in that moment.
It was a bit
In whatever way you want. However,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah, it was a little bit more like this, even sort of pointing in a specific direction. So I could even turn this figure a little bit more in that direction. Like I'm suggesting, hey, try this, go this way.
And what about the client and their goal? How were, like, in that moment where you wanted to help him see that his presence was making a difference, but he was not quite seeing it yet. What did that look like? Is there a brick that you can add or something to remove or even move the client to demonstrate what you are noticing in that moment that caused your minifigure rescuer, Tina, to raise her hands?
Yeah, I think, thanks for that invitation. This isn't going to stand quite the way I'd like it to, but I think just like being able to give him the bridge, I'm just going to kind of lean it in there. It may not, and let him build it the way he wants to, and maybe say, how would it look from this perspective or this perspective, and let him come to his own sort of action plan, if you will, rather than me suggest it. Yeah, because I think I genuinely want to support him in if he wants to be more visible, more engaged, in sort of checking in with his direct reports. I'd love to support him in doing that, and I need to be more curious. I need to offer more questions rather than suggestions. So these little arms need to come down.
Yeah. Yeah, when you are doing that, feel free to adjust. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can have a hand at his back or side, but I don't need to show him where to go. I don't need to point him in a given direction. He's a bright guy. He's got a great mind. And I think he would be more engaged too if it was a little more open-ended than we left it the other day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm curious how minifigure foreman Tina is feeling right now as we see this.
This is a more generative and fun place to be as a coach. I know I think I know from experience anyway, that this is much more generative for the client, because it helps them use their vision, even if it's, hey, take a look from over here, or let's take a look from over here. It it's not necessarily, it's the client's vision that's most important. It's not, hey, I see a way to remedy this situation or to fix it or to get you out of, you know, the fire or whatever it might be. I can be a co-constructor. This is more a partner in construction. This one's, you know, a rescuer. And I don't want to do that. It's not helpful to the client. And it also feels really icky as coach when I recognize it.
You've mentioned the word icky.
Yeah. Like I should know better.
Yeah. If you found icky somewhere, maybe with some of the other bricks, and brought that in to represent, what is icky and how it,
Well, I think icky was sort of like dark and muddy, and it's just, I don't need to go there. I don't need to go there. It muddies the waters. You know, it takes away from, you know, this may get in the way of the client figuring out his or her own solutions to the problem, and ones that might be much better than anything I could come up with because they know themselves better, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna take this little one off the table altogether. The eyes can stay on there. I can invite other perspectives, but I'm just gonna take that one off. Okay.
Well, what does that
over to the side?
How did that feel moving? I'm now noticing it didn't even stay on the surface. What yeah, I'm curious, what was that like, removing the rescuer?
You know, it feels like I'm just acknowledging a habit that I can bring into a coaching session. I don't always do it, but it's not useful to the client. It's not who I want to be as coach. It's not how I want to be as coach. So this feels way more spacious. There's more space on the board. There's a clearer landscape, if you will, between, you know, the client and their desired outcome.
Yeah.
There's more space. There's more room. And I'm just alongside to partner with the client in their construction, right, of their own way forward.
Yeah.
Which sounds like it feels different. It sounds different in the language I'm using now, and it feels different. And I like the spaciousness.
Yeah.
I love that when I'm a client in a coaching conversation where there's much more room to explore and build and play.
Yeah. I'm taking that. I'm wondering how spacious this has been for you right now, between you and I. How has this served or disserved you in any way? This conversation, for how you...
It's really helpful. You know, I like to build, I like to help. And it's heightened my awareness of that, maybe that tendency to want to step in when I don't need to. The client is plenty resourceful. And I don't want to take anything away from them. I'd rather help support and build their autonomy rather than, you know, give them answers that may not fit for them.
Yeah. And as it is in this current iteration, when minifigure Formentina is standing like that, and with the knowledge that those eyes, those perspectives are there, but not icky. What is the impact on this client's broader system, on their organization, when you are showing up like this? And feel free to share or maybe add a brick that might demonstrate what that... Yeah.
Shift the client over a little more in direct line with to use their desired outcome, right? And I can step off to the side a little bit further if I can get this one. Yeah. I'm just gonna sit it on top for now.
Yeah, you don't, yeah. Well, I'm also noticing by you just sitting there, and I noticed there's some more flexibility in minifigure form and Tina.
Yeah, I can be more
Uh,
mobile if I'm not attached to anything. Like, hey, this is a great answer for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
attached to anything.
No, I could step, you know, anywhere. Or I could
Uh,
say, like, come on over here. Let's take a look at it from this vantage point. Or what if? But yeah, I'm more mobile. And then I think that also may give the client more mobility in their situation, which is really what I'd love to have happen. I want them to have like all the options available to them. Um,
yeah,
they choose. The client chooses.
yeah. Can I ask you just to do one more thing? Just go ahead and turn the entire base plate. Yeah, one more time so that you can see yourself and the client in that perspective. Yeah, I'm curious if you just look at it from either any of those perspectives, what do you notice?
The client is um, closer to
Mm,
what they want to move towards than I am as coach.
yeah.
It strikes me that they could actually be much closer to either the solution or the route that will work for them than I can be as coach.
Yeah.
You know, even if I'm a terrific coach, like they've got resources within them that has them be closer to the answer as to or the answers, right? The different ways they can get here, right, to their desired outcome or their goal.
Yeah.
So I want to be more aware of remembering the client's resourcefulness.
Mm,
And that I can be over here to the side. I can be even, half a step behind with maybe a hand on their back, a supportive hand on their back. But I don't need to be over here, like calling the plays,
mm,
like I'm on the field with the client. Now I'm switching metaphors entirely,
that's
but
okay.
I'm on the field with the client. I'm a supporting player. I'm not directing what's happening on the field or in the field.
And can I just may I share one thing that I'm noticing right now
Sure.
is that I see a fully integrated Coach Tina as opposed to this two Coach Tinas showing up trying to pick
Mhm.
their place of how they're showing up in that moment. I just see an integrated minifigure minifigure form and Tina there.
Mhm. Thank you. I like that. And this minifigure, Tina, right, has tools available.
Hmm.
This one, if this is like the firefighter rescuer one, would be the one who's turning a fire hose on or, using some kind of tool to break down a door. But this one's choosing the tools to
Hmm.
use or here, let me give you a hatchet, or let me give you the fire hose, or let me, and I have tools available here, but I'm waiting for the client more to say what he or she needs.
Yeah.
Or what I can ask, what kind of tool do you need? What kind of tool do you want to use? It's just way more spacious,
Yeah.
and it feels way more fun and co-creative rather than directive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pushing this other minifigure.
Yeah, no, hey, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So and Phil, you can turn the camera up if you'd like and yeah, what are you taking away? What's your final statement to yourself as you leave this time today?
Hmm. I think I'm just reminded of the kind of experience that I want to help co-create with the client. Um, and I want it to be spacious. I want there to be room to move in different directions. And I want to invite the client into taking different perspectives or trying on different perspectives. I don't want to tell or suggest they should do or how they should see a situation. Yeah.
I want to thank you for allowing us to play and see what you were saying and feeling, and I'm grateful for our time today. Is this okay? Time to finish up?
Yeah, this is great. Thanks so much. This was way fun and really helpful.
Cheers. Thank you, Tina.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great session.
All right. Wonderful. Damien, I'm aware we are so close to the top of the hour. So what is the best thing to do right now?
I wonder if participants have any questions for you or what they watch. I think that was a great session. And Tina, do you feel comfortable sharing this session in YouTube for people to learn about this and for people who are not here? Sure,
that'd be fine.
You were an amazing client, an amazing supervisor. You know, I want more like Tina.
And if I can, I want to thank Tina again for allowing us to be with her hands and her bricks in this
My
time.
pleasure.
And I'm happy to answer any questions, and if people have questions for Tina, maybe not about the content, but about the process of hands-on reflection, if she's open to responding to that, I welcome that. Yeah, Frederick.
Also, I just want to congratulate you because I saw the demonstration at Converge on coaching, but I had not actually seen in supervision. So that was quite amazing. Thank you. I was curious to ask Tina about how was her experience. From the beginning, she was aware of what she had done, what she wanted. But what was the discovery she did at the end for herself that was different, having used the Lego as if we had not been using Lego?
I think it's a great question. I think with using the Legos and being able to, manipulate things, I still have my build, being able to work with my hands and think with my hands, it involves more of my intelligence or maybe my wisdom, if I can own some of that. And I can see and understand more of the situation than I would if I'm just talking from my head. Does that make sense? Yeah. And it's more fun, it's more engaging. And I was surprised at how many metaphors came up that I didn't even, hear as Paul and I went through that session.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I shared in chat. I refer to it as an embodied cognition, and I was so honored to do it with Tina, being a somatic coach, knowing that Tina would be able to engage her full self in this process. Jungwon.
Okay, thank you very much for your demonstration. It's my first time to see this. So that is very, very dynamic because moving around the blocks. And so in general, when you have a supervision, sometimes you are very serious, no fun. But in this case, by moving around the parts, also we can leverage spatial intelligence, also the power of visualization and the metaphor. I enjoyed this. I have one question. If we apply to this, who doesn't have any prior experience with Lego, what kind of introduction and ground would be provided before we exercise this game? Thank you.
Great question. So So as Tina knows, and Damien was reminded of just a couple days ago, the first thing we would do would be to engage in what we call a skill build, where we learn the bricks. I refer to Lego as a communication technology. The bricks themselves become a language. And so the first thing we do is to start very, very simply just to learn the bricks. Thank you so much, Kevin. It's good to see you again, my friend. And so they start to understand. And as I share, we understand Lego if we've ever used them to build a thing. But we want to be reminded that we can build a thing, and then the next thing we do is to build a thought. But the first thing is to, and so in my training, as I share, whether I'm working with a team or with a group or with a one-on-one client, either coaching or supervision, we will always start with a little brief activity for them to learn, and then we move into what you saw with Tina.
Thank you.
Great question. Yeah, it's a process. Takes a little bit of extra time, and as Tina shared, what I find so valuable is our we could have the most powerful supervision or coaching session ever with a client, and still words fade. But bricks, the tangible artifact, it stays with us. We remember it because we imbue it with our feelings and our thoughts, and it stays there, tangible.
Hello, I'm Anna, and I watched the demonstration video. How do I say? And it was very impressive. I've used Lego Serious Play for coaching, but not for supervision. Just one quick question is that so what was the first question in that supervision when Tina started making the blocks?
Mhm.
Is it about the client and Tina's relationship or a coaching situation? What was that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just like coaching or supervision, we do not direct any part of it. We ask a simple question: what are you bringing in? What is the situation or the topic or the client case that is on your mind? And we go from there. I mean, we dance. It really depends. And when I train people on how to do it, some people may bring the challenge. If I speak in 7 eyes language, some people may bring I3 or I3 and I1 are on top of each other. And then what we do is we actually pull them apart. So Tina kind of did a little bit of it for us without even knowing it. She built herself, she built I4, she built I2 even, and of course she built the client. But sometimes it's just one mess, I'll say, a perfect mess, but one mess. And actually it's the process of saying, well, which part of this is the client and how does that part relate to this part? And so we actually, over the course of the session, it pulls out, and so that we can see all the different eyes, and maybe I7 is there, and you heard me ask an I7 question, and Tina moved right in the end, and so it iterates, which is just process. And so if you know Lego Serious Play, it's that you ask a single question and then the client shares.
Yeah.
In the coaching and supervision framework that I've developed, it's a much more iterative process, and it involves a bit of Gestalt theory and also systemic constellations to think about the spaces and the directions. You noticed the Tina was on a turntable that was able to look in 360 degrees, because you know, if we are looking at our client and are looking away from our client, that's a totally different question. As I say, bricks are data, and the questions emerge in front of us.
So following that, I want to just clarify that if the client just put one block, this is a client, say that if the coach said that, we can proceed this 7-night process, and then they can add more bricks, and then they can build the all the bricks together, where the metaphors or reflections are evolving. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because Tina started quite well built bricks at the first stage. Yeah, that was my curiosity.
Yeah, it like, I mean, I'll speak coaching language as well, but our clients are whole and resourceful. That artifact at the beginning of the session was also whole. And I hesitate to use the word perfect, but it was okay exactly as it was. And, you know, coaching clients, supervisees come to us because there's an incongruence. What they are seeing isn't exactly what they are wanting to have. And so we just open up the space and ask them, how would they like to see it differently? And we can also ask the artifact, what does the artifact need? You heard me ask the minifigure Tina many questions. And so we ask, there's a third entity in this work, right? Supervisor, supervisee, and the system. And we can look at it or step into it and see how it feels from within the system, which is why I think it's so powerful.
Okay, understand. Thank you.
Yeah, I get long-winded, so I get excited. Hopefully that made sense. I shared my contacts to connect with me, and the next my next Lego Serious Play coach training that is in the APAC and Oceania time zone. It will be next year, and I welcome having a conversation with anybody interested. And as I share, anybody that has gone through Damien's trainings gets a discount, and any supervisor that comes through my training gets an added supervision add-on micro training to this, because I am in love with supervision, as the book says.
That's great. Great job, Tina. Thank you very much for being an amazing supervisor. Paul, thank you for your support. Is this okay for both of you to share this with people so I want to put in YouTube, also in when I put it in LinkedIn, Paul, you can also have there the information about your programs, so I can support you there. So that's available too for people.
Okay.
So that was a great session. I'm probably going to be doing another demonstration for the supervision program. And I'm wondering if this is such a great session that I think it's going to be challenging finding another great session like this one.
Well, that's a discussion for you, me, and Patricia Gonzalez to decide. Hopefully she doesn't mind me mentioning her name in this training.
Because she already said that she's going to be doing it. Okay, no. She's not going to be happy if you change your mind. Okay.
I will engage her in a session regardless. So.
But everybody's welcome. Paul is going to be doing that. And Tina, if you want to join us, this is open like this. This is the Asian Supervisors Network, but my program, we open the session. Everybody's invited. It's not good this for Asia. We have a program that is a good time for Asia and one that is good time for America and Europe. So this is at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I think that for people in South Korea will be in the middle of the night. But do you remember, Paul, when it's always the last Thursday of the month at 8 a.m. So
yeah.
And you're going to do it in a couple of months, next month?
Yeah, I
or the
believe
following
we
month?
changed it to, so it's Thursday, September 26th at 8 a.m.
Okay, so Anna, Joan, Videos, you're welcome if you want to join us on September, Thursday. Well, for you will be at night, late at night that day, but if you want to make it, if not, we're going to have the recording. So thank you everybody for coming and being part of this session today. And next month for the Asian Supervisors Network, we have a colleague from South Africa. So this is a very global network. So he's going to be talking about building relationship in supervision. And he's a really great supervisor. So you will enjoy meeting him if you're available. Thanks everybody, and sorry again for being a few minutes late today.
Okay,
Take
take
care.
care. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Paul. You did a great job, like always. It's such a great joy to